It's Phil Lindemann with your Krystal 93 News at 5 from Luna Lending. Silverthorne councilwoman Kelly Baldwin is resigning after 7 years on council. Baldwin is leaving for personal reasons. She's been making frequent trips out of the state to care for aging parents. She and her husband have sold their home in Silverthorne and will move to the Western Slope. Council decides tonight how to fill her seat. A local coalition to review Xcel's new mountain energy project is gaining traction. The towns of Silverthorne and Dillon have agreed to join town of Breck on that coalition and share some of the cost. Breck hopes every other local town will join. The mountain energy project promises more reliable energy without a new gas pipeline. But not everyone is on board. In a letter to Silverthorne Town Council, a resident of Angler Mountain Ranch says towns are making unsupportable assumptions about the mountain energy project. The resident calls it an energy reliability suicide pact and fears another rash of blackouts in the dead of winter. Frisco voters spoke and council listened. Frisco will not pursue a tax hike to pay for tens of millions in new projects. A survey showed more than 2 in 3 voters think the town has enough cash to cover what locals already find important. Although council did have a warning, plans for wildfire mitigation are on shaky ground. Federal funding is no longer guaranteed. This week on the State of Summit, nerves of steel and a tourniquet made all the difference earlier this summer at the water reclamation plant in Breck when a worker was pinned under a pipe and losing blood fast.
It was just one of those things where, hey, this is what we need to do, this is where we need to go.
That was Breckenridge Police Officer Carlos Chavez.
We found the gentleman, he was laying on the floor and he was just pooling blood.
Officer Chavez and a trainee knew they could not wait for paramedics.
We noticed that the bleeding wasn't stopping, so I decided to put a tourniquet on, and I kind of just walked him through and basically explained to him that it might hurt a little bit once it was on, but it's going to control the bleeding.
They stayed with the man until paramedics arrived. The injury was so severe, the victim was taken to a Front Range hospital.
We show up to people on some of their worst days, try to help them out. We might be there with them for maybe 30 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, but in that time, we got to do as much as we can to help them out.
Officer Chavez is a Summit native, and last night his family was there when Town Council gave him a Lifesaving Award.
My parents gave as much as they could for us to be in the position where me and my brother are at, so being able to get recognized in front of them, it means a lot to them as well as me.
The victim is now recovering, slowly, but most likely completely thanks to fast action. Tune in again next week for the State of Summit on Krystal 93. Local fire danger, it's very high again today in Summit with a Stage 1 fire ban. Down south, Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park remains closed for a fire burning on the south rim. It has scorched more than 4,200 acres in 2 weeks and is less than half contained, although it has barely grown since the weekend. In local entertainment news, showing 2 more nights at the Eclipse in Breck is Superman, the latest retelling of the classic superhero story, screening at 4 and 7 tonight and tomorrow at the Eclipse. Silverthorne is calling local artists to beautify the recycling center below the dam. The town wants a mural there. Give them a call to apply. Already beautifying signposts on the Blue River Trail in Silverthorne are a half dozen local artists. Stroll the trail to see them in action. In sports, after 102 games and the worst record in baseball, the Rockies finally got a shutout. The Rockies just beat the Cardinals 6-0 at Coors Field. Starting pitcher Tanner Gordon got the win. And in local sports, mountain bikers are lining up soon at Boreas Pass for Race 4 of the Town Mountain Bike Series. First waves leave 5:30. Phil Lindemann, Krystal 93 News.